You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
It's not a dental appointment today. Today, it's an eye doctor appointment. Rachel's getting her eyes checked so she can get new glasses for this year. So I'm sitting in the parking lot of Lens Crafters. This is not a good parking lot. There are a lot of vagrants. There's a full encampment over next to the street. Next to the street here, there's a full encampment where people just live all day. It's weird too, because right over here, on the other side, there's a pretty expensive set of apartments, and it overlooks the Lens Crafters parking lot and the encampment. But here I sit. And it reminded me, Lens Crafters being here reminded me last time I was here. I brought Josie here 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it made me notice something that's happening more and more in the modern day, and that's the shady way people are trying to give you the price. Now, we have insurance through my work, so when we come here to Lens Crafters and get an eye exam, it's $10. It's a $10 eye exam, and then whatever the allotment for the frames and lenses are. When we came here last time, the woman goes to take Josie, and she's like, "Okay, we're going to take Josie in for her appointment." I said, "Oh, great." She goes, "Now it's the exam is only going to cost you $50, which includes the deep photography, which will help the doctor look at the entire eye." And I went, "Oh, okay, it's $50. Must have gone up." Okay. So I'm walking around a bit, and if you know me, you know that I'm not intimidated, by asking about the policy. My whole life has been dictated about asking about the policy because most people won't, and God bless you. Most people are intimidated. They don't want to look like a jerk. I don't have that gene. I don't care about looking like a jerk. I am a jerk. So, when you know who you are, when you know that you're a jerk, you just embrace it. And you just go, I'm going to go through my daily life and live my life. So I walked up and I said, "You got a question? When we came here last year, and we were here last year at the beginning of the pandemic to get glasses, and this place looked like, E.T.'s house at the end where they have those tubes everywhere and everyone's like, the alien is in the kitchen. We've got to get him, the alien." That's what it looked like here. It was terrifying. They've eased off a little bit, but they're still at the point where if you're not doing business directly, you can't go in. Like, I can't go in to wait for Rachel. I could go in for Josie because she's underage, but not Rachel because she's above age. And I went up to the woman and I said, we were here last year, and it just seemed a little cheaper. Am I missing something? I play the dumb guy. You can explain it to me. And she goes, I said, "Well, what's the base price for the exam?" And she says, "Oh, it's $10. I said, "Oh, well, why is it $50? Why did you quote me $50? She says, "Oh, well, the photos are $40. I said, "But I don't need the photos, right?" "Well, no. I said, "Well, I don't want the photos then." I said, "We just want the $10 exam." And I did that because I know Josie's going to pick an expensive set of frames. And if I can take 40 from here and put it in this column, in the frame column, that's a win for me. But the woman just looked bewildered that I was even asking the question. And I thought, well, that's shady. You should... God knows what's happening in this parking lot. You should just tell me what things cost. There should be... And certainly, at a medical facility, this is an eye doctor. It's an ophthalmologist. She should have an optometrist. She should have a code of ethics that's like, here is the pricing on what we're going to do. Because she just said 50 like that was the base price. And if I hadn't spoken up, they would have taken the photos. They would have charged me the extra. And I just felt like, you just feel a little, like you want to scratch a little bit. Like, can't you just be honest with me? I'm honest with you. I'm not going to give you counterfeit bills. I'm going to give you what I owe you. But I'm looking behind me. There's a guy just yelling in the parking lot. Never a dull moment here in Orange County. Never a dull moment in California. So it just felt shady all the way around. And I noticed that there's a trend in that. And the trend is to ask you what seems like an innocent question, but wrapped in it is some sort of surcharge. And I'm not sure why that's a thing. I'm not going to fall for it. Like, I knew through my insurance it shouldn't have been $50 for an eye exam. And the most common, like, you're not going to encounter this. This is a one thing, you know. This is how, and I get it, this is how this girl has been told to deal with the customers. You know, tell the customer that it's $50, but includes the photos. And if they ask about separating the photos, then of course do that. But that implies that the onus is on me to say, what's the price and how can you take the photos out? And I got to do this. And instead of her saying it's $10 for the exam, and then we'd like you to add these photos for $40. But see, then I get to say no right off the bat. I don't even have to entertain the idea of taking the photos. But this one, it was like, I knew the $50 was too much. But the everyday occurrence of this, and this is everywhere I've been, because during the pandemic, we have gotten takeout food, fast food, drive-through food, more than I can count, you know, because remember at the beginning of the pandemic and through most of last year here in California, and I'm only speaking for California because California is effing crazy. But remember, going to the grocery store was this huge effing deal. You know, you have to wipe down the carts, glove up, sanitize the gloves, sanitize your face, get your face mask on, put your shield on, activate your arc reactor armor, and then go shopping. So it was we would go shopping every once in a while, but for the majority, we just like, look, it's easier just to get fast food. So I spent a lot of time in the drive-through lanes. And this is how you order the drive-through lanes. Yeah, I'll take the number 17 hamburger combo. Medium or large? And they go, medium or large? And I go, whatever the price listed is. Because the price listed is like $6.99. It just says $6.99. It doesn't tell you what size. It's somewhere in the fine print above somewhere, like the, you know, meals in the fine print. And then all the way down here is $6.99 and the item. And they always go, okay, there's always a moment of like pause, because most people, when you give them a choice of medium or large, unless they want the giant drink and fries, they will say, oh, medium. But medium is still more than the listed price. And they figure nobody's going to know. 49 cents, 59 cents here, you're not going to notice. You're paying with a card. See, remember, I'm old, so I can remember paying for everything with cash. You had to go get cash to pay for everything. A debit card didn't show up in my life till I was 18 or 19. Up until that point, everything is cash. Here's your money, go to the movies. Here's your money to get the milk. Here's your money, here's your money, here's your money. Now, it's just a card. You don't even see the money. You get paid from an account that deposits into your account, and then you use a debit card, and you very rarely see the money, so it's not tangible. So if somebody is skating around the issue of 49 cents here, 59 cents there, you don't even notice it. Well, I have severe OCD, right? And Asperger's, and I'm on the spectrum, and I notice I'm like 49 cents is for, because when you're times it by 5 meals, now you're up to nearly $3 with tax. And I know I'm nitpicking, but the base thing I'm trying to say is the default is always more expensive. Medium or large implies not small. Small is what's listed. Medium or large is a surcharge. And I always am clear, like very clear, whatever the $6.99 size is. And I've had some fast food people you've heard my shows. They've accused me of ordering things wrong. You know, when I order a McDouble, plain, no cheese, it always comes with cheese. always comes with cheese. Even if I've seen it on the screen, it always comes with cheese. And they always go, well, sir, it's a McDouble. It comes with cheese. I said, I know. That's why I said no cheese, and why you repeated it back to me, and why it said it on the screen, and I don't know why there's cheese in it. I've been at the fast food joint where they've had to give me 4 separate sandwiches because of the cheese thing. What the fast food's fascination with cheeses, and I always say the same thing. I'm asking you to do less. I'm asking you to do less for the same price. Why is this a problem? But I've learned I'm the issue. I'm the problem. Anytime I have ever pointed out, you've given me too much change, the people, the register people, the clerks, they always look so perturbed with me. Had a girl the other day, she gave me an extra $1. Instead of 4 ones, she gave me 5 ones. And I said, this is your $1 back. And she just looked at it like it was a bug. And I said, well, I don't want your drawer to be short. I said, I've worked retail. I know what it's like at the end of the night if the drawer doesn't come out right. That can be a nightmare because you're on the hook for it. But she just looked, oh. And I was like, well, I have a pretty strict moral code. That $1's not mine. I was only entitled to $9, not $10. And you know what? I've even done that at the swap meet because someone will give me too much change and they look at me, oh my God, you're being honest. I'm like, well, yeah, I would steal from you? I wouldn't steal from you. The only time I didn't do it, it happened not that long ago. She had a box of old videotapes. I bought a California Adventure tape about opening day, and then I bought the Oingo Boingo farewell concert double cassette tape. And I said, how much are your videotapes? And she goes, they're $1 each. I said, oh, cool, I'll take these 2. And she goes, it's $3. I said, what? She goes, it's per tape. I said, oh, okay, sure. So I picked up some other items. I said, how much are these? She goes, well, those are $3. I said, okay. So I handed her a 5 and she just walked away. And I went, I owe you $1? And she just walked away, and I was like, okay. I turned to Rachel. I said, I'm not chasing her down to give her $1 for the extra videotape in the videotape 2-pack set of Oingo Boingo. I just was like, she just looked at me like I was stupid. It's $1 per tape, sir. And I'm like, so if I was at Blockbuster and you were the clerk, this is 2 rentals and not just 1 rental for the whole concert? I have to rent it like the first part of the concert, and then I have to bring it back and then rent the second part of the concert? Are you out of your mind? It turned out, it's a no brainer. No big deal. And the interesting part is, so what did I give her? $5? I sold the California Adventure videotape for $20 and the Oingo Boingo videotape 2-pack for $18. So I did okay. And you know what? I would have given her the other $1. If she had said $6, I would have given her the $6 because we'd already made the deal. But she goes, $5. Okay, maybe I'm misreading it and she was giving me a bargain. Like she was bundling them together for a bargain. But she didn't look like the person who was going to give me a bargain in any way. She just didn't. Yeah, so there's my adventures in commerce. I guess I should, I'm so late to the game here, but I apologize. I have been so busy with Knott's ramping up. The Boys and Brave Festival is going on. At some point, we're going to open, so there's a lot to do. And you'd think I'd have all this extra time, and you really don't. You really don't have this extra time. So finding time to sit here in this car and do a show is rare. It's very rare. But anyways, I finished WandaVision, and wow, was that bad? I felt like the only person on earth who thought it was a train wreck. And like most long form storytelling, and we're talking about 6 episodes, 8 episodes, I don't remember. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and save my judgment until the end. But I knew very early on they were never going to make any of this stuff all make sense. That it was all going to be Doe Machina, the god of the machine. They were just going to make something at the end that just wiped the slate. I just knew that. Wiped the slate clean. You just knew that because there were way too many plot threads. So the first few episodes of the different TV shows were interesting. And then the introduction of Agatha as the villain of the piece. I mean, she's not the villain of the piece. Agatha was an opportunist, but she was not the villain of the piece. She was not the antagonist. The protagonist and antagonist of the entire show was the same person, Wanda. She was responsible, obviously, for everything we saw. They threw in Agatha and then oh my God, that stupid theme song that everybody thought was like the greatest thing since, I don't know, Baby Shark. You can see what realm I'm putting it in. You know, it was Agatha all along. Was it? Was it really? Another red herring, another side quest designed to like just throw us off the scent. Like, well, Agatha's done this to her. And then we find out Agatha is this centuries-old witch who wants to become some uber witch, and she killed her coven. And here's the thing that they did. Weird moment. They took us back to Salem and had her at the stake, you know, being burned by her coven, and she's uber powerful. And wait. Did that show just justify the Salem witch trials? It did. It justified the persecution of innocent people in that show. Think about it. The context of the show is there were really witches in Salem. So the people that were murdered, killed, tortured, drowned, burnt, all real, all justified. Yeah, that's a stretch for a show like that. I don't know why you want to wade into those waters, but here we are. We have these moments of Agatha leading Wanda through her life on a tour, and it's trying to give us like justification for all that we've seen before. And the justification being Wanda watched her parents get killed by a Stark bomb. Now we have the catalyst for why she's on Ultron's side in Age of Ultron, because she blames Tony Stark. It's an old trope. But her and her family watched a lot of Western civilization DVDs, so now she's into Western pop culture, and that's why the TV shows are missed in the beginning there. It's her retreating into her life before, because remember, Wanda was blipped away and then came back. The snap killed her, the blip brought her back, and the first thing she went to see was the body of the Vision. And when she gets to S.W.O.R.D., she finds that they're taking the Vision apart so they can see what makes him tick and create a weapon. And my question is, they've had the Vision there for 5 years, and this is all they've done? 5 years, and they just managed to take him apart and lay him on tables. Like, let's not forget, it's been 5 years. That's not a small amount of time, and they've done nothing with him. And then, of course, over the course of a month, they're going to turn him from a decaying robot body to a fully functional new being. The antagonist on the side is the guy who heads up S.W.O.R.D., and I'm not sure, maybe somebody can explain it to me, why he was arrested at the end, what exactly he was guilty of. His job is to create weapons to protect the planet. So reviving Vision is part of his job description. The whole Scooby-Doo ending of Kat Dennings going, have fun in jail, lost on me. Why is he being arrested? And where was she for the entirety of the last episode? Driving all the way from the circus to town square? I don't know. We're treated to an just stupid scene with Quicksilver. We have the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, and he's going to merge the two units. I mean, that's what we were headed towards, right? Were we headed towards the merging of the X-Men into the universe. Not a fan theory, a fan hope was at the end we were going to see Professor X roll up and go, everything's under control, we've got it. And they didn't do that. Not only did they not do that, but they pulled a flipperoonie worthy of Ryan Johnson by having Quicksilver just be some guy, and his last name is Boner. And she goes, your last name is Boner? And he goes, Boner. And you're like, did you bring that character in all this way? Had him run around like Quicksilver? Had him do all the things that Quicksilver does for a boner joke? Are you serious? I felt like this is a slap in the face. I've given up hours of my life to this for a boner joke. That's like the anything in Last Jedi or the your mama joke in Rise of Skywalker, where it's just like, who thought this was a good idea? How many meetings did they go through before they got to filming this sequence and then editing it in and then keeping it into the show and going, you really going with the boner joke? Or did they all just like laugh and drink and go, this is going to be great, man? They think we're putting the X-Men in the Marvel universe and instead it's a boner joke, huh? Dude, no. That is ridiculous. And yet, that's what they did. Not only did they do that, but this is a streaming service that the week prior to this show ending decided that they needed to put disclaimers on Dumbo, Peter Pan, and God knows how many other classic Disney shows that are problematic for children. This one, not so much. And it actually had a scene where Wanda goes out and her children are being strangled by Agatha. She's floating in the sky and she's strangling her children by the neck. The kids are in mortal danger. Now, let's forget the fact that the kids don't exist. They're not real. So I'm not sure how you explain that to the children watching the show. How you go, well, the kids aren't in any danger because they're not real kids. They're fake kids. I haven't seen a flip like that, like asking us to care about kids that don't exist, since the crap fest movie, The Family Man, with Nicolas Cage, directed by Brett Ratner, who directed X3. We've circled around. That's a movie where Nicolas Cage plays a very successful man who suddenly wakes up. Don Cheadle is in it. Don Cheadle, who plays Iron Patriot. He wakes up one day, not in his fancy upscale life, but as a family man working a 9-to-5 job. And he has kids that he falls in love with, and we, the audience, are expected to fall in love with as well. And then at the end of the movie, he has to decide to stay in this life or go back to his old one. And he goes back to his old life, and the children that we've spent 80 minutes in love with vanish. I remember watching that movie thinking, what do they want out of us? What do they want out of the audience? Because you've just told us, we got you to care, ha. And it's not like they died. They ceased to exist. And they did the same thing in this show, where these kids don't exist. And the idea of, well, maybe they were going to, again, just fan theory. Not even fan theory, again, fan want. Are they going to take these kids and somehow personify them in the real world? And instead, they didn't do anything like that. They simply wiped away all of Wanda's fantasy. You know, the Vision is dead, completely dead. Paul Bettany did this really stupid thing where he told everybody there was a big cameo at the end, setting us up for Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, anybody. And instead, the big cameo was two Visions. It was him. He'd always wanted to work with himself. So there's two Visions, one all white, one fantasy dead. The all white one is tangible. And they didn't do a Star Trek 3, Search for Spock, where they transferred Wanda's wanting into the Vision. I mean, if the white Vision had turned to color at the end, like he'd absorbed all of the memories of the other one, imagine how beautiful that would be. But here's the problem. The problem is that the show and the characters are doomed from the start. From the start. Because, surprise, Wanda's the bad guy. She's an uber villain. She's done things in this show worse than some of the other Marvel villains. She has taken an entire town of people. She has mind raped them to participate in her sick fantasy of living in the suburbs with Vision, who's dead. And there's no redemption for this character. Once she does all this, we're on the level of Westworld, where the characters, the robots in Westworld, rose up and became worse than their human counterparts, and suddenly there's no one to root for. And in this one, there's no one to root for. There's some stupid line where Rambo says, "These people will never know what you sacrificed for them." Wait a minute. What on the holy F is that woman talking about? What did Wanda sacrifice? The Vision sacrificed himself to save the planet. Now, it was undone by Thanos, but he was willing to kill himself lest half of humanity be blinked out of existence. What exactly did Wanda sacrifice? Losing him? How about a flash here? He's not a real human. He is a machine. He is a thinking machine. It's all wrapped up weird, man. There's shades of, this is not the movie you want to be compared to, but it's shades of Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams, where he's a robot who lives long enough and trades out all his parts that eventually he's human and then wants to die. But this one, when she's walking out of the town, like she's finally released everybody, and we know this is all true. We know it's all true because at the end, the woman walks up to Wanda and says, "Can you just let my daughter go? She's been in her bedroom and she just wants to come out." And you're like, so Wanda has mind raped all these people and their children. She's a pretty hefty villain on the villain scale. You know, she's somebody the Avengers would need to take out, because you can't have somebody walking around who's mind raping an entire town to participate in her sick fantasies. That's why at the beginning of this, the better explanation would have been that somebody is fooling Wanda into thinking that everything is fine because they're trying to get her to say or do something. And even if that had been Agatha saying, "Look, I'm going to pretend I'm going to get into Wanda's psyche and make her think that all of this is real. And eventually she's going to give me the secrets of being the Scarlet Witch." That's a better ending. But they didn't do that. Agatha was just a side person. She's not the real villain in the film, in the series. Wanda is the real villain. The show ended with another stupid two characters shooting lights at each other. This gets so boring. Okay. We saw this in Return of the Jedi 38 years ago. 38 years ago, the red light and the green light fought each other, and good triumphed over evil. And we've been doing it ever since. Harry Potter ended with two things of light going at each other. Oz the Great and Powerful was two things of light going at each other. Movies are now either two things of light going at each other or a vortex in the sky that they have to close up or something. It's so pedestrian, nothing original to it, unless they were going to, at the end, show the Avengers meeting and saying, "Look, we have to take Wanda out." And then it goes boom. Like, that would have been a big thing. But this little TV show on the streaming service, they were never going to let them play with those kinds of toys. The idea that WandaVision was an integral part of the Marvel Universe, not buying it. Yeah, maybe Rambo had some sort of origin story, like she walked through the bubble and then she got special eyes and powers. I have no idea. It was as clear as mud. And anything they did with that character is undone by what they did with the Boner character, basically giving the audience the middle finger for caring. Why would you do that to your audience? And I'm not talking fan service, because fan service is another thing. What I'm talking is, because fan service was putting him in the outfit from the cartoon or the comic book. But what I'm talking about is leading you down a road where you're expecting something and then giving you something better, not something less. Why would they want to give you something less? That's what I can't figure out, is they were happy giving you less. Having Wanda end up at a cabin in the middle of nowhere, brooding, becoming, oh my God. It's like, you ever see Batman and Robin, where Alicia Silverstone decides she's Batgirl and she goes, "Suit me up, Uncle Alfred." And then suddenly she's got a rubber bat suit like that quick. They don't need that anymore. Don't even need Alfred, because when you become the Scarlet Witch, the costume just appears. Like, the power that be just goes, whoa, and you're the Scarlet Witch. Give me a break. Give me a break. I was bewildered by the finale. I was hoping for so much more, so much weight. And they did give you weight, but it was the weight of her being horrible to all these poor people. And they were desperate. Remember, there were moments where, when they would become clear thanks to Vision, they were basically crying, "Please let me go home. I don't want to do this anymore, please." And they're like, "Oh, so how's it going at the plant?" Like, that's a weird deal. And then talk about not explaining everything. Agatha's appearance was never in question until they needed it to be. You know, we thought Agatha was just her neighbor. Wouldn't the secondary character of a sitcom, because you've got the family and then the neighbor character, this would be like Skippy in Family Ties being the mastermind. Wouldn't they know it? So Wanda dreamed up this world, dreamed up a character that would be her nosy neighbor, and her nosy neighbor turns out to be somebody who's not in on it, because, correct me if I'm wrong, Agatha was never under Wanda's control. She was always a witch. She had her sanctum under her house with all her spells, where she's fully in control. We had all that. So she was never, so even when the Vision freed her, she was fooling then. How would she know that the Vision had the power to free her from the spell? Was there a scene where she sees the Vision free his coworker? I don't know. I don't remember. And I certainly ain't watching it again. But you see where characters have to behave a way because it's either they're under the spell or they're aware of the spell and know how the spell is undone, Wanda's spell. So the scene where Vision is talking to Agatha and frees her and then goes back only makes sense if she's either really under the spell or has seen the Vision do that to somebody and knows to play along that she's breaking the spell and then going back under the spell. You see how easy it is to get lost because you're so busy coming up with cool things to do that eventually you have to pay it off at the end. It has to be something that makes sense at the end. And that's where a lot of this stuff, all this pop culture stuff, falls apart. It's why, again, hate to say it, it's why Back to the Future holds up so well 35 plus years later, is that everything is set up and paid off, set up and paid off. And nowadays, the setup is so great that either the payoff is weak or they don't pay off it at all. Question: why was Agatha and the neighbor guy buzzsawing the fence? Never explained. Were they trying to escape? They went through some litany of Agatha's behind it all moments, but they never, again, maybe I fell asleep, but I don't remember them ever explaining why Agatha and the neighbor were trying to break through the wall. It seemed as if they were some sort of agents in on this, and this is metaphorically trying to break the spell. Again, I have no idea why any of it was happening. It just happened. It just happened. You know, the better version of this is The Truman Show. And it's tough to beat The Truman Show for this kind of contrived fake reality where one person is the center of the universe and everybody else is either kowtowing or reinforcing the fake reality that person is in. Does that make sense? Remember Under the Dome, we had that whole civilization trapped and they got worse and worse because there was no law in there. Truman Show is different in that Truman is presented with what he believes to be reality, and it only starts to fall apart on one certain day, and there's no reason for it. We don't need a reason for it. It's just one day the light falls, and after that there's issues. But everybody is doing their best to fool Truman into believing that it's real. This is forced. They're being forced to pretend that Wanda's reality is real. There's a great story in all of that, if you're going to have it make sense. But there were just, people get caught up, especially now when CGI is so freaking cheap. They get caught up in great visuals. We're going to do a great visual. The truck's going to burst through the bubble and turn into a circus truck or a fire truck or whatever it does. The bubble's going to expand and all of these agents are going to turn into a circus. That's a great visual, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense because even Kat Dennings' character is able to roam free. I mean, I think the Vision frees her, right? And they have that stupid sequence in the street where she just can't get down the road and you're like, lady, people's lives are at stake. You would just drive around unless, I mean, the greater thing would have been have her try to drive around and she just can't. Like, remember the scene in The Matrix where Neo is running through the train station and when he runs off camera, he runs back in and he can't get out? That was maddening, and it was maddening in a great way. And I'm not saying the Matrix sequels are great, but, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day, and a really bad movie can have great scenes. And that's a great scene of how do we get these characters out of here? They're trapped. And instead it was just like all these things. It's like the Kat Dennings moment in the road was like the chase scene in The Rock where they're racing down and it's a plate glass window and bikers and a fruit stand and an old lady. Every cliche that you can throw at a chase is in that. But that works. You know, The Rock works really well as great entertainment, even if it's not high grade material. It is a great, very greatly entertaining movie. It's one of my favorites. But the combination of the boner thing, that was just a slap in the face to any fan of the Marvel Universe. Knowing they had bought Fox, knowing they own the X-Men, setting up the merging of... You led me down this road. I didn't just come up with it on my own, guys. You led us down this road, and then you pulled the rug out with a boner joke. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And you knew this was going to happen. You guys knew this was going to happen, and you still did it anyways. That's the part I can't figure out. You know, that's like killing Snoke. Like, you knew killing Snoke was going to make the third movie not have a villain. And you never explained it, and you're just doing it anyways. That's what I can't figure out. Oh, Rachel's done. Hey, guys, I gotta go. I'm Jeff Tucker, and this is 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?
Hey, welcome back to 91 Reasons. The show didn't end. I picked up Rachel from getting her glasses, and she's telling this very amazing story, and I said, well done, let's tell it once on camera so we can have it.
Well, I just had a lot of fun picking out my glasses. Everybody in there likes my funky style and
they
my
said,
bright color.
What did they say? We hope we're here when you pick up your glasses?
Yeah, because I said, oh my God, I have to change my hair color now to match my glasses. They're like, you would seriously do that? I'm like, yeah. So they're like, please let us be working when you come in. Both of the girls were like fighting, hoping they were going to be here. But I had more pink to go in my hair. I'm just going to add in a new color to match the glasses. So I have pink and another color now to match my glasses.
Other color? What's the other color?
So first of all, my eyes got worse. which explains why I can't see with these glasses.
When are they going to be ready?
Bad news is because I do bifocals and I'm old and they're special glass. They're a special order. So she's like, just like last year, it's 14 days for your glasses.
Oh, jeez.
And
Josie's were ready the next day.
And I said, my birthday's April 18th and I really wanted my new glasses. She's like, expected due date is showing us the 16th through the 17th, maybe the 18th. I'm like, on my birthday. I said, that's okay. My hair will be done by then. So that they were so excited. That's how they knew I was going to come in with my hair done. They were actually happy because if my glasses had been done fast, I wouldn't have got my hair done yet. And they were going to make me come back to show them. So they're like, oh, we get to see your hair for sure then.
Did you tell them to follow you on Instagram?
Yeah. I'm like, they can go follow me. I told her, this is going to be easy. She goes, okay, start looking at glasses. Here's your tray because anything you touch, we have to disinfect and all that stuff. I said, well, I'll just make your job easy. I don't make you guys clean a million glasses.
I would have been like, hold on. I want this pair. I want to look at this pair and this pair.
I want bright and funky, anything not normal. Something you would probably think is ugly is what I'm gonna like. That's what I told her. So she went around with me and she's like, these? I'm like, yup. We found 5 pairs. There was 2 pink, a light pink and a bright pink. I'm not really a pastel pink girl, but I tried them just for fun. There was a bright blue with, it's actually a bright blue with clear, but it looks blue and white. I kept telling her, they look like clouds. I just see Prince's outfit. That's all I see when I look at those glasses. And then there was another pair that was clear with every color of the rainbow splattered on it, like paint splatters, pink, yellow, black, and clear, which I really liked. But that pair was $300 for the frame. My insurance don't cover that, so I had to pay it out of my pocket. And honestly, I didn't not get those just because, you know, what I got, what I liked best. I tried them all on, and they were up there, those expensive ones. So I didn't put them out right away. But those blue cloud ones, just the Prince ones, I kept calling, I'm all, it looks like Prince's suit. So I don't know how well it did justice in the pictures, but I took pictures, so I'll send them to you so you can post everyone to see all 5 choices that I went through, and the blue clouds one. So blue will be added to my hair now somewhere. Don't know what version I'm gonna do, but blue and pink will be in with my hair. I'm so excited. I love them. I hope they come in time for my birthday.
All right. Time to go.
That's all.
See you later.
Bye.